Traditionally, the high arts come in three parts: the architecture, painting, and sculpture. Those are the three major high art forms.
So to me, that's the whole point of art, is that it stimulates somebody else to make work that they never even thought about making.
Having art conversations is like political conversations, man. You can't really define something like that. Everybody has a different understanding of what art is. I mean, I could look at a fucking line and a squiggle and say, fuck that, that's not art. And then a really awesome art student can come by and be like, yeah, no, that's fucking kick ass.
It's such a hard question because it gets to the heart of aesthetics, the philosophy of art.
My body is their canvas. They collect art on their walls. I collect art on my body.
It's against God's law, basically, for you to mark your body. The sort of traditional Judeo-Christian prejudice against mutilating your body. I think at this point in the history of the development of tattoo as an art form, it is considered a minor art.
Actually, I don't really like tattoos, and I'd never had a tattoo. And I guess as a dancer, I think about movement as this kind of like three-dimensional art form.
So when I was 18, I started getting tattoos. Getting ready to get into tattoo that a friend of mine drew, Ramesh, who recently hung himself. He drew a tattoo for Spare Change, the zine that Tom Foote does. And it's a picture of a rigor mortis possum, like the face of it. So I was gonna get that on my side. Most people really know what it is that they want on their bodies. Even if it, 5 years later, they're like, well, I got this tattoo, and like, it doesn't mean as much to me now as it did then, but I'm not gonna get rid of it. But a lot of, it's like tramp stamps. A lot of girls who go out and get butterflies above their ass crack. Those people regret that shit. But tattooing has been a way of identifying with age or maturity or being a part of a tribe or a certain group of people for thousands of years.
Part of the problem may lie in a kind of Western prejudice against tattooing. Clearly, tattooing has its origins in tribal society, used, of course, for identification with particular groups. I come from a generation that associated tattooing with mobsters.
Sailors had tattoos.
Criminals.
Bikers had tattoos.
Inmates.
A lot of gang members had tattoos.
Folks who are on the fringes of society, I guess.
But I grew up in California, so I just saw absolutely incredible tattoos. That's why I turned to Skip to see how we could create this art on my body. In 2006, I was diagnosed with breast cancer and had a double mastectomy. And about a year later, I turned to Skip and said, I'm ready to turn my chest into artwork. I had this idea that I wanted the passion flower vine on my chest, and Mary sketched my chest and drew it, and then Skip took it and turned it into his work. was not always visible. That I didn't have to always be my tattoo or my tattoo be me, but it could be something I could expose at different times. It could be an empowering thing, or it could be a very quiet thing. And I think that that's what I found when we worked together, was that I don't know, I think the ultimate of art anyway is to change perspectives.
Well, I've always been a firm believer that whether people think about it or not, I think that tattoos are kind of like talismans almost that we wear, that just kind of, they're with us. Even if we don't have attention to it necessarily, it's something that you enter into your physical body that's literally a part of your life in a physical realm.
I think when you just make that decision about getting that tattoo, it's something that has to reach in and grab you on a real gut level. So that's when I decided to turn my chest into a canvas and not go through reconstruction.
I heard once that tattoos are the only living form of art, and I could totally get down with that.
In the history of the development of tattoo as an art form, it is considered a minor art. It used to be, of course, that we would define art as something that is a manifestation of the intellect and the emotional energy of humans to produce something that would be beautiful and meaningful, to produce objects of beauty and wonder.
People have these lofty ideas of marble statues standing the test of time, and those are beautiful forms of art, but to me it's just as meaningful when you're living in the now with the impermanence of being human. I think art is an experience that it's kind of all-encompassing.
I guess we can categorize and again segregate and pigeonhole, art forms, but what would be the point? Are we trying to downgrade those artists that do work that we don't have an appreciation for? Or is it just because we lack that understanding or that knowledge to take ourselves into that work even further? Just, again, I have to go back to my postmodern roots and say, if the intention is art, it is art. For me to make a really spiritual connection to changing this into a sacred area that fought this hard battle and came out on the other side, and to honor that fight with this beautiful
expression of art,
tattoo. This artwork on my body was just like the most grounding experience. And for the first time, in over a year, I could take my clothes off and not go, oh my God, Frankenstein. What does spirituality do? I mean, it centers you, it grounds you, it makes you thoughtful, and it makes you thankful. And that's exactly what it did for me, I was so happy to have this tattoo.
I think that's pretty badass, man. You have people who are alive, you're not dead white painters, but you have people who are alive walking around representing art every day. And that's how art doesn't die. Because every day there's somebody walking around alive with art on their body.